Well, good afternoon and welcome to Trinity Cathedral on this first Brownbag as we resume our fall activities. And this, remarkably, is the beginning of the 45th season of the Brownbags. It's by far the longest running continuous free concert series in Cleveland. So, yeah, it's a remarkable thing that has gone on in these hallowed halls or hallowed walls for, the better part of a half century now. So thank you for kicking us off and being here on this vintage fall day. And gosh, it's, for those of you who are baseball fans, it's the last day of the regular season here. It's been such a remarkable and fun season here in Cleveland, and we have all kinds of fingers crossed and prayers for the Guardians as they start their first playoff series on Friday. So hope the weather will be just like this. And we have great musical weather for you here in a wonderful chamber music program featuring, this is again part of our 2022 tribute to César Franck, whose 200th birthday year this is. Franck was born in December, so and he died in November, so it's nice to have something in the fall. We had organ music in the spring, but we have a monumental work of Franck, the piano quintet in F minor. And this is one of those pieces that I've seen referred to in reading about Franck for as long as I can remember. I've never heard a live performance of it before, so I bet I'm not the only one. I know Liz DeMio said she's never heard a live performance, let alone played a live performance. So it's one of those sort of iconic pieces that just doesn't come along that often. So we're all in, I think, for a treat. And we've got a little trio of Chopin gems to sort of warm up the musical palette before we get to the meat and potatoes of the Franck. So you can see we've got two nocturnes, which are, of course, piano pieces originally, but in beautiful arrangements for violin and piano. And then the second piece, it says on your program it's the Lento from the Chopin Cello Sonata. It's actually going to be the Scherzo. So that's one slight change. You're going to hear fast music there instead of that beautiful slow movement of the Chopin Sonata. But let me see what else I need to say. As you may have noticed, we're trying just, in this funny sort of post-COVID era to keep things a little cleaner and neater by keeping it food-free in here for the time being, so we don't get lots of people just tossing stuff all over the place. So thanks for your support and understanding on that. We have brochures for the whole upcoming Brownbag season on the table there, so please take a brochure, mark your calendars, come back often. And we'll talk a little bit more about the upcoming events during the break before the Franck Quintet. But in the meanwhile, please welcome Mari and Liz, who are going to play one of the most beautiful arrangements, one of the most beautiful pieces, the Chopin E-flat Nocturne.
Thank you, everybody, for choosing to spend your Wednesday lunchtime listening to some Chopin and Franck. Just a couple notes before we continue. It was 10 years ago this week, actually, that Mr. Wilson invited Liz and I to participate in a Brahms celebration with the 3 sonatas and the horn trio, and that actually was 10 years ago today. So it's been a decade-long relationship with Trinity as part of the 45 years, so thank you, Todd, yes. And on that subject, you know, we in Cleveland know how lucky we are. We know how good we have. And I'm not just talking about the Guardians win streak, with the orchestra and the institute and the museums and the various cultural events. But in case you weren't aware, the curator of the series, Mr. Todd Wilson, is featured with the Cleveland Orchestra this week with the Saint-Saëns Organ Symphony. So yes, you might see him in khakis and a sweater milling around, but the talent is being well utilized. So thank you, Todd. Thank you, yes.
While they get reconfigured for Franck, just a couple of other announcements, mostly, as usual, to remind you that the basket lives there on the table, and of course we are very deeply grateful for anything that you might be able to put in that basket on the way out. Your support, of course, means a great deal in being able to keep this series going year after year. So thank you in advance for that. And those of you who might be watching online, you will soon see on your screens a little prompt for how you can likewise donate. Should you like to do that, you can either do that by PayPal, or you can sort of do it the old-fashioned way and write a check to Music and Art at Trinity and simply mail it to Trinity Cathedral, 2230 Euclid Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 44115. In either case, our heartfelt thanks for whatever you can help us with in terms of financial support for this wonderful series. And likewise, please, all of you who are here, take a brochure, read, mark, and inwardly digest it, and we hope to see you here on a regular basis through the fall and beyond. Just looking, we're continuing our every 2-week pattern, sort of post-COVID here, as it were. And 2 weeks from today, we welcome back Gabriel's Horns. And as some of you may have heard and seen that fabulous group, they've been here a number of times now and have gotten to be one of our favorite sort of, it's a big band in the best sense. They have about 30 players, and they are fabulous. Their energy is boundless and contagious, and they're a hugely fun group to watch and to hear. So they're going to be here 2 weeks from today, and then 4 weeks from today, which puts us right at the beginning of November, we have another great chamber music concert. John Waltz, who's the principal cello of the Los Angeles Opera Orchestra, happens to be passing through this part of the country, and we nabbed him to do a Brownbag concert. So he and Liz DeMio are going to do sonatas for cello and piano of Beethoven and Brahms. So that's 4 weeks from today. Just a side note, we also today begin our regular Wednesday evensongs. So any of you that love choral music or would just like a little, island of peace and quiet in your life, Wednesday, 6 o'clock every week, we offer the very beautiful Office of Choral Evensong here in Trinity Cathedral. So come and visit us sometime on Wednesday at 6. It's a really special treat for many of us who are involved in the music making. It's one of the highlights of the week, and we hope that we might be able to share that with you from time to time. I think that's all I need to say. So enjoy this fabulous Franck piano quintet, and many of us will be hearing this piece for the first time. Soak up every gorgeous note of it. I'm going to turn the mic over to Liz, and I think she's going to give a little sort of program note about this piece, which I look forward to as well.
And thank you for coming today on such a gorgeous day. I know you'd probably rather be outside, but we are thrilled to be here. The Franck Quintet is such an interesting piece. Like Todd said, I have never heard a live performance. This is my first time out. So that's always a little scary when you play such a massive work, and it's your first time. So thank you for being here and joining me and my friends here. I want to give you a little background on what happened when he wrote this quintet. It's become one of the standard piano quintets, but it wasn't to begin with. He was known as an organist, and he was friends, I think it was written in Paris, and he was friends with Camille Saint-Saëns, who is one of my very favorite composers. And he actually dedicated the quintet to him. And Saint-Saëns, who was a very fine pianist, gave the first performance, which he was practically sight reading. And after the performance, when one is having a piece dedicated to one, the tradition is the composer gives the score to the dedicatee, Is that how you say it? And it's like a little ceremony. Well, Franck handed the score to César, and César just walked away because he hated it so much. He was outraged. He thought, what is this crazy tonality? It's going into all different weird keys, and I've never heard anything like this. This guy must be crazy. So he did not like it at all. But another person who heard the piece, I don't know if it was the premiere, but when it started getting played more and more, was Franz Liszt. And what he said about it was, that guy is doing something more than just playing the organ up there in that organ loft. He's coming up with really new and interesting ideas. Another little story about this piece is that Franck was a little bit obsessed with a female student at the school that he was teaching at, a pretty young girl. And there's a melody that comes back over and over. You'll know it when you hear it. It's very lyrical and dreamy melody. It comes through the whole piece, here and there in kind of unexpected places, which makes it interesting. People hadn't been doing that kind of thing in composing before. But this may be another reason that César was kind of outraged, because I think he knew what was going on. Another person who wasn't a fan of the piece was Franck's wife. He was aware of this, this little thing going on. Anyway, so here's the Franck Quintet. It's get comfortable because it's big, 3 movements, but let your imagination take you away. There's a lot of very interesting tonal harmony, and I'm so thrilled to be here with these 4 magnificent string players. I am so lucky to have each and every one of them as colleagues and to be able to come together with this piece. And thank you, Todd, for making it happen. Where did you go? Oh, there he is. All right, anyway, thank you. See you afterwards. you.